What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast. I am your host. I'm Caitlin Kenna-Smith, and today we are going to talk all about what to do when you have zero hope. And the reason why I wanted to dive into this topic today is I have a lot of conversations with people on a daily basis, a lot of people who I am personally working with as their one-on-one coach when it comes to training, nutrition, and mindset, or just people in social media who are interacting with me or who are asking questions or who watch my content or absorb my podcast or whatever. And a lot of the conversations come down to this, is I don't believe in myself. I don't have the confidence to take action. You keep saying that action cures everything, but I don't have the belief in myself to even take action. I have zero hope. I'm completely hopeless, and everything is so dark that they see no light at the end of the tunnel. And when I say, hey, all you have to do is take action because action cures everything, they don't fully comprehend and believe that they have the power to take action because they lack that hope or that belief or that confidence in themselves. And I came across a quote the other day where it was, nothing can be done without hope or confidence. Hope allows you to believe that it is worth it, that taking action will produce a new positive change. And that makes sense, right? It's exactly what I always say. Action cures everything. And when you take action, you're going to see the new positive change and you're going to believe that it's worth it. So in a sense, I believe that this works in reverse. You have to be willing to take the action without necessarily having the hope or the belief or the confidence in yourself that you can actually produce a change. So it's almost saying that you have to shoot in the dark sometimes. Action isn't always going to be a completely clear thing. Like, I know exactly what I need to do in order to elicit the change that I want. We all have like a blurry idea of what we need to do in order to get to where we want to go, right? If I want to build a business and create a successful community, then I understand that, okay, I need to get people into the community and have those people be active in the community and actually, purchase merchandise or purchase courses or purchase whatever in order to continue to build the value that I'm putting out to people and build the life that I'm looking for not just myself and my community, but also my family. So if you're on a fat loss journey, it's kind of like the same thing. Is we all know that we shouldn't eat certain foods. They're not going to help us if we're looking to lose body fat, right? It's probably not the most ideal situation for you to go and get fast food every single day if your goal is to lose 20 pounds. We know that we need to eat more whole, nutrient-dense foods. At this point in time, if you're on social media, you understand that protein has some sort of a importance in you earning results. Same thing with working out. If you want to lose weight, if you want to build muscle, if you want to be healthier, you understand that you need to move your body in order to do this. But why can't we take action in order to make it happen? And usually it's because we lack the belief in ourselves and we don't believe that it's even possible, or deep down inside, we don't believe that we actually deserve to get the things that we want in life, so we never actually take action. So we can't make our dreams or our life become the way that we want it to because we lack the ability to take action. Now, I believe that with the right perspective, we can create hope and confidence in our lives, giving us that ability to move forward. But for a lot of people, I understand that it really is hard, especially at some points in time when you're really going through shit, to be able to have a positive perspective. Like, what do I do when I have absolutely zero hope and zero belief and zero confidence? But I know that I need to change and I know that I want to change, right? You have the desire to make something different because so many people settle for mediocrity, or they settle for a life that they know that they don't necessarily find fulfillment or happiness in, but they just settle because they almost find comfort in the pain because it's what's normal for them, right? It's what's comfortable, even though it's painful. So a couple things that you need to consider here is, okay, you're in a place right now where you have zero hope, zero belief, zero confidence in yourself. So with all of that lack, you don't take action because you don't believe that it's possible, so why even bother trying? So the first thing you need to do is you really have to ask yourself and get really honest with yourself, because none of this works unless you're actually brutally honest with yourself. Why do you feel like this? Do a deep dive. write down or just think about why you have no hope or why you're lacking the belief. And then write down all of the exceptions to that or challenge those thoughts. So if you think that, okay, I lack the belief that I'm ever going to be able to lose that 20 pounds because every single time you've tried to do it in the past, you've failed, right? You've tried it so many different times. I want you to challenge that, right? I want you to say, well, I did it this way. Maybe if I tried it this way, it would be differently this time. Or maybe if I didn't do a crash diet, or maybe if I hired a coach and had somebody guide me along the way, maybe it would be different. Or maybe instead of doing cardio this time, I'll do strength training and I'll really commit to it instead of doing it like, occasionally. Because a lot of the times when we fail, failure is a necessary part of our life process. Failure is a tool for growth. And if you're afraid to fail, that means you're afraid to succeed, because the most successful people aren't those who never fail, but it's those who fail the most, but get back up the fastest and are actually willing to fail. So many people are so afraid to fail that they're never going to push that limit or take action, and they'll remain in the same place because they're afraid to fail. And a lot of it comes down to an ego thing. We don't want to fail because we know that failure sometimes can be embarrassing. But if you push your ego aside a little bit, you're going to be able to move so much further in life than somebody who just, sits with their ego all the time. So look for exceptions to those limiting beliefs that you have. Now, let's talk about that for a second, because I think this is a topic that I've seen spoken about a lot, but when it comes to coaching people, I've worked with so many different people over the last 10 years and so many people over so many different parts of their life who have been through different things. And some people, we go through the same process because the majority of people, they just need to focus on the basics, right? The protein, the calories, the water, movement, resistance training. There's going to be an individual aspect to it. For example, the amount of calories and protein that I have person A on probably won't help person B get the results, right? We have to change those things. But generically, if you want to lose body fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. You have to focus on protein, get about 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight minimum, right? You have to drink your water, and you want to aim for about 1 gallon. You need to resistance train and have that be the sole focus of your programming and do it properly, not just get some random fucking workouts that you found on Instagram and start doing those, or just go to the gym and kind of wing it. You have to do a proper resistance training program that's going to help with progressive overload, helping you getting stronger, which means you're building muscle. And remember, when we build muscle, we're going to be burning more calories at rest, which means you're going to be able to lose body fat, not just more quickly, but also more sustainably. And you speed up your metabolism. And the best thing that you can do in our society right now, with all the food that we have available to ourselves, with the sedentary lifestyle that the majority of us have, is that if you speed up your metabolism through just putting on muscle, you're going to put yourself in such a better position than so many other people, because you're going to be able to combat that sedentary lifestyle, and you're going to be able to combat maybe sometimes overindulging in some foods that you have available to you. So when it comes to coaching, there's a difference between those who are successful and those who aren't. Because if you're a coach or a parent or anyone who leads people, you know this, that there are some people who, no matter what, they're kind of like a fucking wall. You're telling them all these things and they're saying yes, yes, yes. But then when it comes to actually taking action, they don't do it. Or they don't do it consistently enough to actually reap the benefits and see the results that they want. So they kind of remain stuck in this cycle of, oh, I'm doing it kind of, but they never fully commit to it. So they never actually reap the results. Or maybe they see a little bit of results, but then they go right back to where they once were. But then there are some people who I coach who fucking completely change their life with the same damn information, right? Obviously, I have to portray it a different way to each and every individual, and nothing is a cookie cutter approach. But again, we have the foundations that we focus on. So why is it so difficult for some people to do it and do it consistently versus other people who seem to have no issues with it? And a lot of it comes down to the things that we've had happen to us in the past that a lot of us can't fucking get over. And I'm sorry if that kind of hurt your feelings, but the reality is the things that have happened to us in the past, while they can be traumatic, and while I don't know what you've been through, right? And I'm never going to try to compare my past with somebody else's past and kind of get into like a victim war. I'll never do that. But you have to understand that at some point, you're going to have to make the choice of whether or not you're going to continue to let your past, in which you cannot change, continue to hold you back from becoming the best version of yourself and the happiest and most fulfilled version of yourself. And I'm so passionate about this topic because I was in the position where I was the victim. I was throwing myself a pity party all of the time. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't stay consistent with anything that I wanted to do in my life. And it all came down to this. I would be really good, really consistent, and then I would start self-sabotaging myself because deep down inside, I didn't believe that I could do it. I thought I was a loser. I thought I wasn't enough, and I believed that I didn't deserve to actually earn the results that I was chasing. I didn't believe that I deserved to be a good coach, or that I deserved to build a business, or that I deserved to be a CrossFit athlete, or that I deserved to actually live. And I know that a lot of you out there, when you actually think about it, you probably feel the same way. You've had somebody in your past make you feel like you're not enough, or make you feel like a loser or a failure. And we remember those negatives so much more than the positives. Usually these things happen in our childhood. Like we grew up an outsider, we were bullied, or we were in an abusive relationship, or our parents were verbally abusive, or you had a family member who, there are so many different things that we've gone through in our life that can lead us to believe that we are a loser or we're a failure, so that every single time throughout our life that we get rejected or that we fail, instead of looking at those failures or rejections as learning opportunities, we look at them as just reinforcing those negative limiting beliefs that we are a loser. Oh, yep, I'm a loser, so I'm going to fail, of course. Like, I'm always going to fail the test because I'm a failure and I'm never good enough and I never do enough. And then when you succeed, like you pass a test or, somebody doesn't reject you, you get the promotion. You chalk that up as contributing it to external forces, not yourself, or luck. And you're ignoring the wins and you're magnifying the mistakes. And so many fucking people do this. I see it happen so much. And every time it happens, I want to kind of slap that negative belief out of you. But I understand that that's not how it works. So the problem is that at first these things are negative limiting beliefs. They're false beliefs. They're not true. They're something that you believe to be true but aren't, and they're holding you back from actually being the person that you want to be and can be. Now, the problem is that those beliefs eventually, for most people, become self-fulfilling prophecies. So, for example, if somebody believes that they can't handle stress, then they're going to be less likely to get outside of their comfort zone. And when they're less likely to get outside of their comfort zone, that means that they're really going to struggle when anything difficult happens. Or maybe somebody has the belief that, they are socially awkward. So if they believe that they're socially awkward, and then every single time that they go out into a social situation, they're going to be socially awkward because they're not going to talk to people because they believe they're socially awkward. Or even worse, they're not even going to put themselves in those social situations. So they actually become socially awkward because they are holding themselves back from being around people. So maybe this started off as a limiting false belief, but now it's true because you've created it. But guess what? There's always a way to fix everything. No problems, only solutions. And when there's an issue in life, which it's bound to happen, right? Life's always going to punch in the face. There's always a way around it. But it takes work, all right? And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen at the snap of a fingers. If you spent 30 years telling yourself that you're a loser, then saying I'm a winner a few times in the mirror won't help, especially if you don't combat it with action. Because, oh my goodness, the people who say, oh, just start, saying affirmations in the mirror. That's cool. I'm a winner, in the mirror, and then you don't actually change anything with your actions. That's a problem because now you're just lying to yourself. You're not a winner unless you take action to prove it. So before you start screaming affirmations in the mirror, why don't you check yourself and see if you're actually doing the things that you're saying? All right, so instead of just saying, I'm a winner a few times in the mirror, why don't you challenge your beliefs with action? Acting as if, to build those skills and get uncomfortable. So if you're somebody who, again, believes they're socially awkward, then what would somebody who is not socially awkward do? Right? What would that person do when they're put in a social situation? And then get outside of your comfort zone and fucking do that. If somebody who is not socially awkward in your eyes would start a conversation with somebody at a party, then go do that. I don't go to parties, so I don't know how that works. But I'm not socially awkward, I swear. Parties are not my scene. If you're somebody who, doesn't think that they handle stress well, then put yourself in a very stressful situation on purpose. Intentionally seek discomfort. This is what I do every single day through my training. I intentionally seek discomfort. And I have my clients do the same, whether it be in training or whether it be having a difficult conversation with a family member or a coworker, or, just doing something completely different that you never thought that you could do. Like a new hobby or going to an uncomfortable event. Like, just do something different. Get uncomfortable, act as if, and build those skills. And understand that, it's not going to be easy. You're going to fail a few times, but that's just part of the journey, and everybody goes through it. So the problem is that your lack of belief is leading to lack of action or lack of full commitment when you take action. So some people, maybe they lack belief or maybe they lack confidence, but they take action. However, when they take action, they're not fully committed to the action because in the back of their mind, they're almost like, why even bother giving my all because I know I'm going to fail, right? And that's a problem because then you're not going to earn results and then you're settling for a mediocre life. And like I said, I see this mess people up more often than not because they self-sabotage themselves. They'll be on point with their fitness, with their nutrition, with their habits for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they start seeing results and all of a sudden they fucking self-sabotage themselves. And they do it because they don't believe that they deserve to earn the results that they're starting to earn because in their entire life they've always told themselves the opposite. And what you tell yourself is what you become. So if you keep telling yourself you're a loser and you keep telling yourself I'm always the person who's the fat person or I'm always the dieter, then you're always going to be that person. And the only way for you to challenge that belief is through action. The majority of our day, including our thoughts, is spent on autopilot. So we usually just do our own habits. Like we have habits and behaviors that we do every single day. And the majority of our day is spent in those habits and behaviors. And like I said, that includes your thoughts. So if you're somebody who's always looking for things to be anxious or worried about, then every single day you're going to continue doing that until you break the habit of being yourself and challenge those thoughts. So you need to force action, you need to challenge your thoughts, and you really need to break the habit of being yourself if you want to get through this. You have to envision who you want to be with fear and doubt off the table. And then do what that person does. Take responsibility and take action. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you guys with today is that having zero hope, zero confidence, zero belief, this is an issue. It's a problem, right? And I always say no problems, only solutions. But when we're faced with an issue, we have 3 choices on how we can respond to the issue. Number 1, we can blame other people and we can cry about it, play a victim. We can escape and ignore it, like, oh, there's this problem. Let me go watch Netflix and ignore it, pretend it didn't happen. Or you can process it by taking personal responsibility. And there's only one thing, and I think it's pretty obvious to which one it is, that's actually going to help you move forward in your life. And the other 2 are going to help you remain stuck or actually help you move backwards. So when you're faced with an issue of having zero hope or zero confidence, I want to challenge you to challenge your beliefs with action, build those skills, get uncomfortable, and process what you're going through by taking personal responsibility and acting as if. Now, I hope that this podcast was helpful for you guys. If it was, please share it with at least one person. Share it on your social medias. Share it with anybody who needs it because I want to be able to spread this mission of the powerhouse mentality and live life through action. So go out and do one thing today that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.